Live for God Studio Productions.
This is Cooking with Brian, a cooking show with food that actually tastes great.
Well, hello friends, welcome to Cooking with Brian. Today we are going to make the most delicious meatloaf you'll ever taste. Okay friends, here's how you make it. Okay, first thing you need is a glass casserole pan, and you need some kind of Pam spray or any kind of generic spray is fine. Spray it, that way you don't end up with these dumb burn stains like I have from forgetting to spray the dumb thing. Just too cheap to buy an SOS pad to scrub it off. Okay, the next thing you need is a mixing bowl, and you need a slice of bread. Okay, you want to take your slice of bread and you want to just start flaking it off with your fingers. First of all, you should have washed your hands before you did this. I washed mine, but you should have washed yours too. And just do this until it all flakes up. The cheaper breads work better if you're doing this. You can also use hamburger buns, hot dog buns, just one for each 1 pound of hamburger that you use. Today we're going to make it with 1 pound of hamburger. However, if you have many mouths to feed, you might want to consider 2 pounds of hamburger, or maybe more than that. Okay, for your spices, you want to put about 5 dashes of salt. Just open. Yep. There's maybe about 4 dashes of black pepper. Garlic powder, about 5 dashes. Onion powder, I don't know, 10 dashes of onion powder. I almost forgot to tell you that before you begin cooking, it's a good idea to have a cup of coffee. And the reason why is because if you don't have some kind of energy, you may not have the energy to complete this recipe. So grab you some coffee, friends. Okay friends, the next thing you need is an onion of any color, don't matter, red, yellow, white, it don't matter. I'm going to use a red onion this time because you really want to use a small onion, and all the white onions I have just happen to be too big for a meatloaf. I mean, you could put it in there, it'd just be a little bit outrageous in the amount of onions that you had in it. However, there's no such thing as too much onions in my opinion, because I mean, I could sit there with billy goats in a field and just eat these things raw all day. Just give me some salt, and man, the billy goats will go to town. Try to cut them into as small pieces as you can get them, or that you have patience to do. Oh, by the way, if you cut yourself, burn yourself, execute yourself or others, if you harm anybody in any way, including people and animals and imaginary friends, it's all your fault. You take full responsibility using my recipes. Nothing is ever Brian's fault. It's always your fault. And by doing my recipes, you agree to that it's all your fault. Unless it's something good and don't cost me anything, then you can give me the credit for it. But if you harm yourself or others. It's your fault, dude. Okay, you want to go ahead and dump your onions in with your breadcrumbs and your spices. Now you notice in my recipe we're not going to use an egg. A lot of people like to put one egg in their meatloaf. If you want to put an egg in there, go for it. You can do it. But I'm going to show you a little trick that Brian does. First of all, a lot of people can't eat eggs, so this is a good recipe for meatloaf without an egg in it. Okay friends, here's a little secret for you. Since you're not putting an egg in here, get you some syrup and just, I don't know, there's maybe about, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 tablespoons of syrup in there, and that'll help get it to have some kind of moisture to mix this all together. Go ahead and mix it up. Make sure your hands were washed before you did it, and mix it around by hand. Do not use one of those mixers that you hold in your hand. If you have one of those industrial kind of mixers, you know, that has the bowl and everything, and you spent like $250 making me sick because I wish I had one. If you want to buy Brian a Christmas present I would really love, that's what I want. Get me one of those professional mixers that I can mix all this stuff into. In fact, that may be what I asked my wife for Christmas, is one of those industrial mixers where I can actually make food that would be really great and much better than what Brian can do by hand. That's good enough. Okay friends, if you just happen to be fixing this for 2 people, if you want to, you can break the meatloaves in half and you can make like 2 meatloaves. Or if you had 3 people, you could split it in 3 parts. The main thing is you don't want it to be terribly high, and the reason why is because if you like your meat well done, you don't want it to be too thick, but you do want it to be a little bit thick, otherwise it wouldn't be a loaf. So, about like that maybe. Okay friends, this is just for decorator's sake. If you want to get into culinary arts and all that crap, Grandma used to do it. Just take some ketchup, and just make you some little lines across there. You can make it look fancy if you want to, but that's good enough. That's redneck style culinary arts. Okay friends, your next ingredient, you need some red potatoes. I've got some Green Giant fresh red potatoes. Now you want to take each one and you want to make sure you wash each red potato before you cut it up to put in there, because ain't no telling what kind of pesticides they sprayed on this crap. However, this stuff was in the ground Not saying that pesticides didn't go with the rain down in the ground and get on your potato. I don't know. So make sure you wash each one. You don't want to eat dirt. Okay, now what you want to do is you want to slice the potato into small chunks to put in your meatloaf. You just want to kind of throw it in your pan and fill in all the empty, voided out spaces here with potatoes. The reason why we use red potatoes is because you ain't got to peel the darn things. That's why I like to use them. Okay friends, before you get too far into this, you need to go ahead and put your oven on. So preheat your oven to 425 degrees. And you can go ahead and continue slicing your potatoes. Okay friends, then you want to take some garlic powder and just kind of lightly sprinkle garlic powder over the whole thing, and then take onion powder and you can kind of put it over everything. Maybe a little bit heavy is fine. That'll give it a great flavor. Then take you some maple syrup and just kind of put a little bit over the potatoes and maybe a little bit over the meatloaf. That'll give it a great flavor. Okay friends, then you want to get some hot tap water. You want to turn it down to like a trickle and let it get water in your pan. You don't really want to go higher than the meat is. You want to stay lower than the level of the meat. Okay, that should do it. Okay friends, and then once your oven's done preheating, put that in the oven at 425 for exactly 1 hour. And then you'll have absolute perfection. Hope that was a blessing to you. Hope you enjoy that. I know you will. We'll see you next time. Bye, y'all. Bye.